is a huge amount of excitement at Team Hawkes ahead of the final day of the carnival today, and rightly so.
Oh, absolutely, Jules. They are all fired up about their chances today in the all-age and champagne. I caught up with Wayne.
Now the great Briasa gets going inside the 200 overpass, a length clear from Briasa, breathing down his neck. Overpass being tackled by Briasa, the outside. Briasa goes to overpass. Briasa overpass. Briasa won the TJ.
Wayne Hawkes, Briasa, you got to break news with us. Got an Everest start.
Well, you know what? I'm sure he'll be running in the Everest, but we just haven't locked in a slot yet. But lots of friends though at the moment, so it's a great position to be in. But he's just got to. It's a few months away yet, and you know one thing, Tim, you never get ahead of yourself in this racing game. But it's exciting, and he's not the only good horse that's going to be in the Everest. Gee, it's going to be one hell of a race, that, and no doubt it's Sydney's premier race. It's one of the greatest races in the world of racing now, and hopefully Briasa can be a big part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. All-age stakes, though, that's what we need to focus on. And look, after that run a couple of weeks ago, just extraordinary.
Yeah, it was a big effort. You know, if you think back to the Galaxy first up, he drew the bad barrier. He wasn't brilliant out the gates, and he went back to last and rocketed home, and he drew inside in the TJ and flew out like a gazelle. So it's quite amazing. First up, he wasn't quick away and drew a good gate in the TJ, and you saw what he did. And the difference between him and Overpass is such a high quality horse, but he's a very experienced horse, whereas our bloke only last spring was winning benchmark 84s on the Kenzo. So Overpass is no easy horse to get past, and he's hard and seasoned. So we thought it was a great victory, and you know, just looking forward to the all-age stakes, and then he'll have a rest and get ready for the Everest.
Now, the last time that we saw you and your brother get highly emotional was when someone did their back after Estajar won the Golden Slipper. Correct. It was pretty emotional to win. You guys, you know, it meant a lot, this one.
You know what? We've had a quiet couple of years and won the Blue Diamond. It was a bit emotional there, and then it was again the other day. And Michael rang me one day and said, "I found him." I said, "Found what?" He said, "I found the horse." I said, "What is it?" He said, "The unraced grey horse." I said, "Oh, here we go. He said, "No, I'm telling you." He said, "This is a proper horse." I said, "Really?" He said, "He looks like he's a seriously good horse," and that was when he was unraced. So Michael put his heart in his sleeve early, and the Johnsons are a great family. They're not a well-known family in the racing industry, but breeding horses for 40 years and never had a city winner. So to go from never having a city winner to having arguably the best sprinter in the land, I think the best way to describe it was when Anthony Johnson texted Michael after the TJ the next day and said, "This is only just starting to sink in now what that horse did for us." So I don't think they really realised at the time how good he potentially was, but winning the TJ, it all sunk in for them. So they're a great family, and you know, breeding for 40 years and never having a city winner, Tim, talk about persistence.
To give a little bit of perspective, and I know we have a joke and we have a laugh, but this industry, it demands hard work, it demands early hours, inhospitable times. So when the good times happen on a Saturday afternoon when you're all frocked up, it's not hard for the emotion to come to the surface.
True. I always look at it like the middle of winter, pouring with rain, trainers are at the barriers, pushing that 2-year-old in that won't quite go on the gates and try and educate him. You're not getting much love and much help then, but you're right. It all comes out on race day because it's grand final. Whether it's AFL grand final, NRL grand final, it is the grand final for to win those big races. And to be fair, some of these races are bigger than others. And to win a TJ, well, before the Everest, a TJ was the greatest sprint race in the country. So to win the best sprint race in the autumn was special. And on the back of Chautauqua winning 3 and Black Caviar winning a few of them as well. It's Trapeze Artist, and it's a good horses race. If you look at the history, as I just said, it shows you only good horses win this race.
Did Chautauqua flash back to you when you won the other day?
No, because this bloke jumps out the gates well at the moment, so I haven't gone down that path. But the truth, the Sydney stable have always called him 2.0. So he doesn't have to be as good as Chautauqua, but one thing he can do is he can actually jump and posse into a position, and Chautauqua was hopeless. We know that out the gates. Quote Tommy Berry, just let him flop out the gates, do what he wants for the first 600, get the 600 and go, righto, let's get to work. Whereas Briasa can draw a great barrier, bang, he can lead, box seat, and quite versatile. And the other thing that Briasa does well is he likes wet tracks, so there's not much he doesn't like, and I suppose that's why he's a good horse.
Nepotism starting to wind up. Tupacaro taking a run between them. Next Gen's too far back. Savvy Halley being joined by Nepotism, and Nepotism takes the lead late, and despite the betting drift, Nepotism too strong for Savvy Halley.
Finally, a Nepotism, and I don't mean finally because it's the last thing we should talk about, because this is another talented horse, favourite in the Champagne or right up there.
Yeah, he's favourite in the Champagne, and his win was fantastic. The other day on the Saturday meeting, transferred to the Tuesday, won and won well. And in the start before that, he ran third his first start in the best 2-year-old lead-up race to the Slipper, and arguably should have run closer. So he didn't get a run in the Slipper. That's probably going to work in our favour, to be fair. He won the B-grade race the other day, and now it's going to be a Group 1, Champagne. So we've been patient with this bloke. He's a son of Brutal who won a Doncaster, so you do feel like a proud dad when you see the sons and daughters of the ones that you've trained, like, Brutal, son of Brutal, going and doing his job. It's a great thrill as a horse trainer to have a good horse, but when you've been tied up with the family previously, it's a bigger thrill again.
Absolutely. Last day of the Sydney Autumn could be some kind of party.
It's a soft finish for us, but the Autumn Carnival might come to a close, but we'll just keep on keeping punching on. But it's been a great carnival for everyone, really, and probably I think one of the biggest things is Sydney can be pretty wet and ordinary, and in the autumn, and we haven't copped too much bad weather, to be fair. So racing's the winner, and we've got a lot of good young horses coming through the industry, so good times ahead.